It's Monday, March 15, 2021, and we just received a seemingly simple balance update for Star Wars Squadrons that's actually going to cause a massive shakeup in how top-tier players have to pilot their starfighters, as well as a much-needed nerf to the overpowered targeting beacon and squadron mask components for the support class. Oh, what's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and we're going to be showing you exactly how this nerf is going to affect your gameplay. You see, all of these recent buffs and nerfs from 2021 are server side. That means they only affect online games. And practice mode is the exact same game that we had back in December. So we can directly compare pre-nerf to post-nerf. But let's go ahead and take a look at the actual post. It says, in our previous tuning, we tested out a tweak to the TIE Defender that reduces the viability of rapid boosting for certain techniques, i.e. boost skipping. This week, after much feedback from the community and data from games, we're applying the same to all starfighters except the B-Wing. They'll monitor the effects of this change to see if further adjustments are needed. We've also tweaked some components that deal with targeting and visibility to give more impact importance to the timing of their use without decreasing their effectiveness in key moments. But that boost activation cost on all ships beside the B-Wing has been increased by 60%. Well, what does this mean? Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like before the nerf. In pretty much every single ship, if you had a full boost bar, you switched power to one of your other systems and you started boost skipping around, you'd be able to get about 18 to 20 skips out of that boost meter before having to recharge. And that's without doing any boost gasping techniques that allow you to maintain your boost meter while you're dashing across the battlefield. This is just raw skipping around. And it was a pretty consistent number across all the starfighters that I tested, 18 to 20 skips. However, after the nerf, if we're playing in an online game, it's only 12, and this is pretty consistent among every single starfighter. 10 to 12 boost skips depending on how efficient you are with your own boost skipping techniques. And this is a massive nerf to the way that top level players pilot their starfighters. It's pretty much a constant boost skipping meta, and now it's going to be incredibly difficult to fly the same way that we have been doing in the past. This update only just came out today, so it's incredibly difficult to predict how the pro level players are going to react to this. But thankfully, we won't have to wait very long at all to find out exactly how they're going to handle this nerf to the boost skipping meta, because we do have the Calrissian Cup Spring Minor going down this weekend. They're going to broadcast the top 6 teams going against each other live on Saturday. There's going to be a link down to their Twitch channel in the pinned comment below. I highly suggest going to watch it. I'm going to be watching it there myself and bringing you all a video on my insights into how the top level players are getting ahead in Star Wars Squadrons these days. Moving on, there's also another nerf to how those top teams are going to be playing the game, because most of them usually run with a support player that has squadron mask and targeting beacon components equipped, and both of these got massive nerfs. The squadron mask in particular, that has previously had a cooldown of 20 seconds and a duration of 10 seconds. So that means if a support player was on their game, you would only be able to see the enemy fighters for 10 seconds at a time. And the only one that would really be on your scope was that support player. Now, that cooldown has increased to 20 seconds and the duration has increased to 7 seconds. That means the minimum duration between those masks is 21 seconds now instead of 10, effectively doubling the amount of time that your team is now visible between those maskings, and decreasing that squadron mask duration 30% from 10 seconds down to 7 seconds. So the timing of these, the use of this squadron mask is definitely going to be a lot more important than it was before, because it's going to cost you a lot more if you get it wrong. Next up, we got the targeting beacons, and this was a pretty simple one. They didn't have any nerf to their effectiveness at all, just a nerf to the cooldown from 30 seconds to 35 seconds. So now there's going to be at least a 15-second delay between when the beacon is active and when the beacon becomes active again. So decreasing or increasing the delays between those times also decreasing the ability of players to move around the map incredibly quickly, I think this is going to slow down the game quite a bit in the pro level. When we watched the Calrissian Cup Winter Majors just a few weeks ago, many of the games were lasting less than 10 minutes because of just how fast pro players are moving across the battlefield and taking advantage of the components that are available to them. And so we are definitely going to be seeing a much different style of gameplay coming into the spring set of the Calrissian Cup than we saw in the winter set of the Calrissian Cup. I'm definitely excited to see the outcome of this tournament, but I'm even more excited that in just 3 days' time, Star Wars Squadrons is getting released on the EA Play Game Pass. That means millions of people might be hopping into the cockpit of a starfighter for the very first time, and I wanted to give all these fresh faces a warm welcome. So you're going to be seeing some content over the course of the next week directed specifically at these new players. This will include the remainder of my interview with professional Star Wars Squadrons player Fenkar, one of the best pilots in the game that helped his team achieve victory in the most recent Calrissian Cup Winter Major. We're going to discuss the components that you should be purchasing first on each starfighter for each faction, because you are of course limited in the first 40 levels by those requisition points. So purchasing the best components first can actually make those first 40 levels a whole lot more enjoyable experience. And if you haven't already seen the first part of our interview, I highly recommend you click the video you see on your screen right now, where we go around discussing the most important skills a Star Wars Squadrons player should be learning if they want to get better at the game, and maybe one day achieve Galactic Ace. Hope to see you guys in that video. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.